Caitlyn Clark. You probably know her as the absolute beast on the basketball court. She's taking over the WNBA, breaking records left and right, just changing the whole game. But what if I told you she's making waves in a totally different sport right now? Yeah, you heard me, Caitlyn Clark on the golf course. And what she's doing is nothing short of mind-blowing. She recently showed up at the WNBA Pro-Am, and the reaction has been wild. We're talking stunned supporters, speechless golf experts, the whole 9 yards. Think about this for a second. This WNBA superstar isn't just dabbling in golf. She's showing off skills that rival some of the best amateurs out there, and she's doing it with this confidence that just screams, I can conquer any sport. So why is there so much buzz around this? Because it's not just about her surprising talent, it's about her redefining what it means to be a multi-sport athlete. Let's dive in. The story starts at Pelican Golf Club in Florida, where Caitlyn joined the WNBA Pro-Am. This isn't just any event, it's hosted by Annika Sorenstam herself, a total legend in women's golf. Caitlyn wasn't just participating alongside top players like Nelly Korda. She was captivating the audience. The place was packed, buzzing with more energy than the final day of a major tournament, not some casual pro-am. By 7:00 a.m., the vibe was electric. Fans were lined up, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, and what happened next was pretty remarkable. From the second she teed off, it was clear Caitlyn wasn't just there for a friendly round. She was there to play. Now, she's not a pro golfer, obviously, but her presence on the course was magnetic. Those first few holes showed a player who, even with a few hiccups, had a real understanding of the game. Her approach shots were smooth, her putting was surprisingly sharp, but let's be real, there were some chaotic moments too. Early on, Caitlyn shanked a drive that almost took out a spectator and ended up splashing into a water hazard. You could feel the pressure hitting her, the weight of performing in front of that massive crowd. But here's the thing about Caitlyn Clark. She thrives under pressure. Instead of letting that bad shot throw her off, she bounced back with an incredible iron shot. The ball landed within inches of the pin on the very next hole. That's the kind of resilience you expect from someone who's used to sinking buzzer beaters in high-stakes basketball games. What makes Caitlyn's golf game so interesting? It's her versatility. She brings that same attitude to the golf course that she does to the basketball court. She mixes basketball strategy with accuracy and an unwavering competitive spirit. On one hole, she drained a long putt from about 20 feet away, and the crowd went wild. Even the pros in her group were impressed. Annika Sorenstam herself couldn't help but comment, saying Caitlyn's inherent athleticism means she has it. It shouldn't surprise anyone that a champion recognizes talent across different sports. But not everyone was thrilled about Caitlyn stealing the spotlight. Some old-school folks in the golf world wondered if her presence was distracting from the real competition. Some even complained that she was getting more attention than the professional golfers who've dedicated their lives to the sport.
Have fun, like, on that side. There we go. Yeah.
I'm next.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
All right. This is awesome.
But here's the thing, Caitlyn's involvement brought an unprecedented level of attention to the tournament. The Golf Channel changed its schedule to feature her rounds, kicking things off with 90 minutes of coverage. They saw a surge in viewers, a lot of whom probably wouldn't have watched a golf tournament otherwise. That's Caitlyn's star power in action. And then there's the impact she had on the fans. For a lot of the crowd, it wasn't just about golf, it was about witnessing a cultural moment. Caitlyn Clark, a basketball icon, was showing that her talent and influence could reach far beyond the basketball court. Fans followed her from hole to hole, creating an atmosphere more like a playoff basketball game than a chill day on the golf course. She signed autographs, posed for pictures, and even took a moment to explain her love for golf. "My dad introduced me to golf when I was young," she said. Her smile lit up the crowd. "It's something I've always enjoyed, but I never imagined I'd be playing with legends like Nelly." And speaking of legends, Caitlyn teaming up with Annika Sorenstam and Nelly Korda was a story in itself. Clearly, Annika was impressed by Caitlyn's skills and how she handled the pressure. She's a born competitor. You can see it in the way she and Nelly approach each shot. It's not about being perfect, it's about being determined. Then Annika joined Caitlyn for the back nine. It was a masterclass in sportsmanship. Annika, the ultimate mentor, offered advice and support, and Caitlyn soaked it all in like a sponge. The highlight of their collaboration. On the 12th hole, Caitlyn nailed a tough putt after taking Annika's advice on reading the green. It was a small moment, but it perfectly captured the spirit of the day, learning, growing, and pushing boundaries. By the end of her round, Caitlyn had not only earned the respect of her fellow players, but she'd also sparked a conversation about the potential of athletes who cross over into different sports. Is Caitlyn Clark paving the way for a new era of multi-sport stars? It's a question worth asking. Looking back, her performance at the WNBA Pro-Am wasn't a one-off thing. It was a statement. Caitlyn showed that talent, hard work, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone can lead to incredible results. But let's be clear, Caitlyn is a basketball player first and foremost. She's made it clear that her heart is with the WNBA. But her foray into the golf world has opened up new possibilities, and fans are already wondering what she'll do next. Will she keep playing in pro-ams? Could she compete in amateur tournament? Options are endless, and knowing Caitlyn, she's probably already planning her next move. Caitlyn Clark's first round of golf at the WNBA Pro-Am ignited a firestorm of reactions, discussions, and opportunity. From her skills on the golf course to her global appeal, there's a lot to unpack here. We're going to dive deeper into the impact of her performance, the challenges of competing in two sports, and the broader influence she's having on women's athletics. Let's continue this journey and explore Caitlyn's golf adventure in the context of a changing sports landscape. The way Caitlyn approached the WNBA wasn't just a fleeting moment. It reflects a decades-long evolution in women's sports, where athletes have fought for recognition and often been overshadowed by their male counterparts. But Caitlyn's star power is changing that narrative. The fact that she can draw massive crowds and media attention to a golf tournament, a sport where she's a relative newbie, speaks volumes about her influence. It also highlights the untapped potential in women's sports when given the right platform. One of the most impressive things about Caitlyn's performance was her composure in a sport that's notoriously difficult. Golf isn't just about strength or precision, it's a mental game that demands patience, adaptability, and focus. Considering Caitlyn is used to the fast-paced action of basketball, the slower, more methodical rhythm of golf presented a unique challenge. But she adapted quickly, especially on the back nine. And let's not forget, she was sharing the course with Annika Sorenstam, a 10-time major champion and a living legend. That would be intimidating for most golfers, let alone a basketball player playing golf. But Caitlyn approached the situation with her signature confidence. When Annika offered advice on reading greens and improving her posture, Caitlyn listened intently, absorbing every word like a seasoned pro. By the end, Annika was full of praise for Caitlyn's poise and natural athleticism, which raises an interesting question. Does Caitlyn's basketball background actually give her an edge in golf? At first glance, basketball and golf couldn't be more different.
And from the standpoint of understanding the impact that she's had not only on golf but women's sports in general, played in a men's tournament, it's pretty incredible. Just like one of those trailblazers, and challenges herself every single day, but also just like the joy that she exudes.
Playing golf while pursuing a WNBA career would be a monumental challenge, but if anyone has the drive and determination to make it happen, it's Caitlyn Clark. Her ability to balance these two worlds reflects a broader trend in modern athletics, the rise of multi-sport athlete. In the past, young athletes were often pressured to specialize in one sport early on, with the belief that focusing solely on one area was the key to success. But Caitlyn's success in both basketball and golf is challenging that notion and inspiring a new generation of athletes to explore a variety of arenas. Of course, some critics argue that her foray into golf is taking away from her basketball career, suggesting that dividing her attention could hurt her performance on the court. These concerns aren't entirely unfounded. History is full of examples of athletes who tried to juggle multiple sports and ended up seeing a decline in their performance. But Caitlyn doesn't seem too worried about the doubters. In interviews, she's emphasized that basketball is still her top priority and that her golf endeavors are simply a way to challenge herself and have fun. I'm a basketball player, that's what I do, she said after the WNBA Pro-Am. I like playing golf in the off-season, but it's not my main focus. I'm always looking for ways to improve and push myself, and playing golf allows me to do that. What makes Caitlyn's story so compelling is the way it's changing the conversation around women's sport. For years, women's sports have struggled to gain the same level of respect and recognition as men's sport. Even in sports like gymnastics and tennis, where women have achieved significant visibility, inequalities in media coverage, sponsorship opportunities, and overall support are still widespread. But Caitlyn's broad appeal is helping to bridge that gap. Her appearance at the WNBA Pro-Am introduced a whole new audience to women's golf, many of whom were likely watching it for the first time. The LPGA, which has historically struggled to attract mainstream attention, benefited immensely from Caitlyn's involvement. The buzz surrounding the tournament wasn't just about her, it was about the possibilities she represents. This isn't just true for women's golf, it's true for women's sports in general. Caitlyn is using her platform to promote women's sports and show the world what female athletes are capable of. And it's not just on the golf course, she's already revolutionizing the WNBA. As a rookie, she's breaking viewership records and drawing millions of fans to her games, proving that there's a huge appetite for women's basketball when it's given the attention it deserves. Her ability to transcend sports and capture the public's imagination is a rare gift, one that could potentially reshape the landscape of women's athletics. But with great power comes great responsibility. As Caitlyn's influence grows, she'll face increased scrutiny both on and off the court. Balancing her basketball career with her growing interest in golf will require careful planning and discipline. There's also the challenge of managing her image. As a role model for young athletes, Caitlyn is constantly under pressure to set a positive example. So far, she's handled the spotlight with grace and humility. Despite her accomplishments, she remains grounded, often crediting her coaches and family for helping her stay focused. For example, she inherited her love of golf from her father, who introduced her to the sport at a young age. "Golf has always been a way for me to connect with my dad," she said. "We've been sharing this for years, and I'm grateful for the memories we've made together on the course." This personal connection adds another layer of authenticity to Caitlyn's golf journey. She's not playing golf for fame or fortune. She's doing it because she genuinely loves the game. She showed up at the WNBA and played with a blend of joy and intensity that resonated with fans and fellow athletes alike. As we look to the future, Caitlyn's options are virtually limitless. Could she compete in amateur golf tournaments? Could she use her platform to advocate for increased funding for women's sports? The answers remain to be seen. But one thing is certain, Caitlyn Clark is a trailblazer, and the impact of her journey is far from over. It touches on broader cultural themes like diversity in sports, dispelling stereotypes, and proving that women are just as capable and exciting as their male counterparts. She's setting new standards for what's possible, not just for female athletes, but for all athletes. Ultimately, the story of Caitlyn Clark's golf debut isn't just about a single athlete trying something new. It's a story about breaking barriers, exceeding expectations, and inspiring others to chase their dream. Whether she's lining up a three-pointer or sinking a putt, Caitlyn approaches every challenge with the same unwavering determination and belief in her abilities. And that's what makes her truly special. So what do you think? Could Caitlyn Clark become a two-sport superstar, or should she stick to basketball? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're as inspired by Caitlyn's journey as we are, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any update. Caitlyn's story is just beginning, and we can't wait to see where it takes her next.